What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to show you how to drop ship on Poshmark within the terms of service. So before we get into the actual method and I teach you how to go about doing it step by step from your computer, I want to talk a little bit about the terms of service. Now, obviously, Poshmark's terms of service says that you're not allowed to drop ship, right? So by drop shipping, let's identify what that means and how it, goes against the generic terms of service first and foremost, right? So dropshipping is just the facilitation of a sale, right? So basically what that would mean is that you don't own the item, you list the item on Poshmark, and then when somebody goes ahead and buys from your listing, you initiate the purchase from another site usually, and that site or that company is going to send the product to the customer, right? So you make the markup, you never actually own the inventory, you never actually handle the inventory, and that actual other company or other website is going to ship to the customer, your Poshmark customer, directly. This is a form of kind of drop shipping arbitrage in a weird way. It's drop shipping for the most part in the fact that you're going to acquire the sale first before you ship anything out yourself, right? So it's drop shipping in that aspect where you're getting the sale first. However, there are some drawbacks to this initially. So this is only for certain people that are willing to basically front the money for about a week and then make the markup, right? So it's a weird form of drop shipping and arbitrage, but it works very, 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 very well. This is within the terms of service because you will actually be physically shipping the stuff out yourself and you will be using the Poshmark labels that they give you, so you're allowed to do this. But that said, you are listing things ahead of time when you don't actually have them in your possession yet, acquiring the sale, and then once you have the sale, then you're going to buy it, ship it to the customer, then you get paid once the customer receives it. So yes, you do have to put your initial funds into the product initially first, but then you're going to make that money back plus more, and that's essentially how the dropshipping arbitrage on Poshmark business model works. So that's a lot of talking. Let's actually jump into it so you understand what I mean by me showing you, right? So there's two main ways to do this, and I'm going to give you an example of how you can we talked about how you have to spend the money up front, but that's okay because you can get more money through like a cashback credit card, and that's all stuff we'll talk about in this video. So I'm excited about this. This is something that really, really has been working really well for me recently, and I highly, highly, highly recommend that you try to do this yourself, and you will see that it works, right? So you don't need the money up front necessarily. You can put it on a credit card, but if you have the money up front, obviously, you might want to put it on a debit card so that you can better keep track of your money and you don't have to worry about, not necessarily paying your card off and then getting hit with fees or something like that. So there's two main ways to do this, right? You can do it first and foremost on Amazon with Amazon Prime, because on Poshmark, you have 2 days to ship the item. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can list Amazon Prime products on Poshmark, and then when somebody buys it, you simply buy it via Prime. It comes to your house in 2 days, sometimes 1 day, and then you can initiate the shipment maybe a day ahead of time and then ship it out when it comes, or you can wait till you get it 2 days from then and then ship it out when it comes, right? So that's still within the terms of service on Poshmark because you have 2 days to ship the product out. You're getting the product to you within 2 days via Amazon Prime, right? And then you're going to ship it out physically yourself with the Poshmark tag. Now, obviously, there's only a few things that you really need to keep in mind with that, and I'll run you through an example listing here in this video in a second. But the main thing that you need to worry about is price changes. And then the next main thing that you need to worry about is staying profitable. So they're basically the same thing, but we'll run all through that in a second. Now, the second way, which I don't actually do, but I do know other people that do this, is by using like a retail store near you, right? So there are many ways to do that essentially, but you can go to like Walmart, or you can go to Target, or you can go to like GameStop, or you can go to any store around you and basically look on clearance or what they have and see, if they have a number of a clearance item or a sale item or any item at a certain price that you feel like you can sell higher on Poshmark. If it's like a clothing item, right? So you go to Target and they list a certain item for like $12, right? Then you're going to buy one of those items, take the product pictures, or even do that on Target.com because you can get free 2-day shipping on Target.com too, and I think on Walmart as well. And then you're basically going to get your product pictures, list it, and then when somebody buys it, you're going to run to Target real fast and buy it. And then as you automate, you'll start to make more and more sales with that listing. You'll start to see which listings work better, and that's another form of doing it. So it's like kind of like retail drop shipping / retail arbitrage in a weird way on Poshmark. But what I recommend that you do, the easiest way, if none of this is making sense, is Amazon, right? So you use Amazon Prime. So to give you an example, we are on Poshmark. And obviously on Poshmark, that's clothing. So let's type in clothing. What's something that's gonna be pretty hot now? I would say, clutches are a really good example of something that's hot. So like clutch purses for women, because people tend to, and women are, you probably wanna go with women's clothes or women's stuff on Poshmark, because about 80% of the people on Poshmark are women and only about 20% are males. So you have a higher chance to sell, and there's a lot more women on the site. So people tend to buy clutches, and this is something I've actually listed in the past, so we're going to go ahead and list it again, and I'm going to show you, right? So it's pretty simple to do this. What you're basically going to do is you're going to take the product pictures. Some of them, you can actually just save, and some of them you might have to snip out. So we take our snip tool, and there's, a tool like this on Macs too. I just don't know what it's called. You're going to take all the product pictures, just like you would for any other dropshipping listing, and you are going to, why is that disappearing? And you're going to simply paste all those product pictures onto Poshmark, right? So we'll save this as like women's clutch purse. And you do want to save it clutch purse 1, right? And you do want to save it as the title or something very, very similar to what it is, because if you know anything about Poshmark, they index just like YouTube or anything like that. They index your pictures and the metadata of your pictures to help rank better on the platform. So that's a little caveat and a little tip for you. So then we're going to come in and we are going to go to our pictures and add the women's clutch, right? And then we're going to apply it and paste it in the pictures. Now you're going to do this for every single picture as long as they're good pictures, right? Then you're also going to copy the title, but you want to put keywords in the title, but also make it read well, right? So you don't want to put in GESU women's shining envelope clutch purse. Instead, what I'm going to say is like women's clutch purse evening handbag, and then we'll see how that sounds from here. So there is a title limit. So let's say women's clutch purse dash evening handbag wallet. So then it reads somewhat streamlined, but it's also kind of descriptive of what the product is, right? And then you're simply going to copy this right here, and it won't all probably fit into the description, but you can try, and then you'll see it's cut off. So we'll just take like this right here, and I'm not gonna waste too much time formatting my description, but obviously if I were investing a lot of time in actually making this a good legitimate dropshipping listing, I would spend more time making sure that I have as many keywords and as much description in here as possible, while still getting still being able to read it, right? And another little caveat too is sometimes on Amazon Prime, if you're planning on doing this with Amazon Prime, you'll notice that one of the bullet points always says, usually like, free returns or money back guarantee. You don't necessarily want to copy that part in there. So that's just another little tip, right? And then basically you're just going to index it. So you're going to fill out the description very, very well. You can take a majority of the description on Amazon Prime, right? Fill out the title really well, with good keywords. Take all the pictures. Then you're going to categorize it. So this is women's, where are we at? Women's bags, women's wallets, or was there clutch there? Women's clutches and wristlets. Then we're going to say multi-item, and we're going to select the size. There's one size, and we'll say that we have 5 of them, just so we don't have to keep making more of them. And then obviously as people purchase them, we can add more to our availability, right? Then we'll have, does it have the tags attached? Yes. Yes, it's boutique. The brand we're not going to put in there because it's GESU. It's a private label brand. Color is, I believe, gold. And then the price is, this is the only part that you really need to worry about, right? So you need to worry about the price potentially changing. So one of the things that you can use is you can use a Google Chrome app like Camel to show you the price trends and if it's changed. Or you can use a Google Chrome app like Keepa to show you if the price has changed. But the majority of prices won't change too much. But I would recommend always checking them like, maybe once or twice a week. But on Poshmark, it's not like you're going to get hit with like ridiculous, it's not like eBay where it's like if you cancel one or two sales, you get the axe and you're suspended, right? On Poshmark, if you're selling a good amount and you're bringing good value to the marketplace and you have good ratings, you can keep canceling orders. It's not really going to affect you like that. So the price isn't that big of a deal, but what you do want to make sure is you do want to make sure that you're profitable. So this is selling for like $14.99, right? So it's $14.99 to my house or to your place for, with Amazon Prime in 2 days. So that's my cost of the product to me. So how do I make a profit on that, right? Well, I can't list it at 14. I probably can't even list it at like 20 because if I list it at like 20, then I'm only going to make 16 bucks, and then I'm making $1 on this, right? So what I might want to list this as, I might want to list this as like 25, right? And then I'm buying it for 15 bucks, I'm fronting $15, and then in 2 days it's coming to me. Then I'm going to ship it out to the customer once they order it in 2 days. All this is happening after they order, right? So there's no risk here, because when they order it, it's practically a guaranteed $5 on my 15, which is a 33% return on my money. It's a good return, and it's basically a great way to do like retail arbitrage, drop shipping, whatever you want to call it. So this is a really, really great method. So if I listed at 25 right here, chances are, I might sell a couple, especially if I'm automating and sharing all the time, like the last video showed you. Link in the description to that video if you want to check that out after. And then I basically go ahead and list this. And that's how you basically do it, right? And then when I list this, I might, do a bunch of clutches on my Poshmark closet, right? And then I would go to like a women's party and I'd share it using the automation tool like I showed you in last video. And boom, it's going to bring a lot of traffic to my Poshmark closet, a lot of likes potentially, and a lot of buys to my Poshmark listings. And then as long as I have enough money to front these purchases, I can continue to make them. If for whatever reason you run out of money, just deactivate your listings for the time being until you make your money back. So generally speaking, it takes about a week to make your money back, because obviously if somebody purchases on Poshmark, right? Let's say somebody purchases this listing from your closet. So then you have to purchase the $15, 15 bucks to your door for this specific product. And then you have to wait 2 days, obviously, for it to come. So you're fronting 15 bucks for 2 days. Then you're going to ship it out to the customer, which can take 2 to 3 days. So then you're looking at another 5 days. And then they have about 3 days. I think it's 2 or 3 days to accept it, but most people accept it right away and then you get paid. So all in all, you're looking at fronting the money for about a week to make money back plus profit. It's a very, very, very zero risk way to make money with arbitrage drop shipping on Poshmark, whatever you want to call it, right? So this is a really, really cool method that I've been implementing lately that I highly recommend that you test and try out yourself. Like I said, you want to make sure that A, you're profitable, B, if you want to potentially use a credit card like an Amazon store card that's going to give you cash back, then that's also a great way, right? Because then you're going to get potential cash back on Amazon purchases, and that's going to add up as well, and you might get free money. If you do this for like a month, you might end up with like a $50 Amazon gift card or a $100 Amazon gift card, right? Or you can simply use your debit card so that you know firsthand where your money's coming out and you don't have to worry about your credit card balance. There's a lot of ways to do this.